Hey everybody, just thought I'd chime in and give you an update on how I'm doing since the last video I posted, which was a few days ago. For those of you who are returning, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to look at these videos. And for anyone who may be new and this is your first time chiming in, hey, welcome to the channel. Here I am She Dope. Why? Because I do things differently on purpose. So this channel is supposed to be about a little bit of everything. However, lately I just had it on my heart to talk about one of the health issues that I've been fighting with for the past 8 years, regarding serotonin syndrome. It is definitely not something brought up in a doctor's office or in the medical community, to be honest with you. Is something that normally occurs through taking a particular medication like antidepressants, migraine medication, or even some uh, nausea medication. However, in my case, my body is just naturally producing too much of it, and we can't quite figure out why. And when I say we, I mean me and my doctor, because all the specialists I've seen, they had no answers. And the only reason I know that it's serotonin syndrome is because of my OCD in researching and being adamant about trying to help myself. And in return, I've been blessed to have a doctor who's been working with me, and we've been working together to try to peel back the layers and figure this out. So just to give you a little insight on what serotonin is, serotonin syndrome is a condition that is caused by an overabundance of the substance called serotonin. It's basically a neurotransmitter that sends messages to the brain to tell the body when it needs more of it or not so much. And at this juncture, again, like I said, my body keeps telling my brain that I need more of something that I already have too much of. My last test result that I had done, it had went up 108 points. And so now we're trying to figure out how to get it down, because there was a medication that my doctor had me on called cyproheptadine, which is supposed to block the receptors that serotonin transmit through. However, it did not work for me. And you might see me smile or whatnot, because sometimes just this information and the things that happens, I be in awe. Like, out of all the people, I'm that 1% chance that it happens to. I used to joke around a lot of times and say I need to be on that show, Mystery Diagnosed. Then maybe somebody can figure out the mystery, because every time there's always something that happens to me, and the doctors find it to be just a mystery, because it'll come out of nowhere. And so this is one of those strange phenomenons. So again, getting back to the serotonin, I did say I was going to explain more about it, but then I thought about it, and it's like a lot of videos on there with people and medical professionals explaining what serotonin is, and how you come to contract it and different things like that. So I'm gonna give just a small synopsis of, like, signs and symptoms of serotonin. So for those who may be watching and you might have some stuff going on and you're experiencing some of these symptoms, you can definitely say, hey, take this to your regular PCP, primary care physician, and, you know, ask them some questions about it. So signs and symptoms include, and if you see me looking off to the side, that's because I got my notes there, because unfortunately, between the medication I was on and the serotonin itself, it can cause confusion and some memory loss. So sometimes I find myself having to pause to find the word that I want to say, or the words I want to say. So signs and symptoms include of serotonin syndrome is agitation or restlessness, insomnia, confusion, rapid heart rate, elevated blood pressure, dilated pupils, loss of muscle coordination or muscle twitching, heavy sweating, diarrhea, headaches, shivering, like you get cold, I get chills. I'm having them even now while I'm talking to you, because it just randomly comes like that. Goosebumps. Now, the more severe and life-threatening symptoms would be, you know, high fevers, tremors, seizures, again, irregular heartbeat, and unconsciousness. And if you experiencing any of those things, especially regularly, then you definitely need to seek medical attention. So what I wanted to update you guys on is that I had my doctor check my sedimentation levels, which is it's called sedimentation rate is the name of the test, and it's a way for them to check the amount of inflammation in the body. So last time my serotonin went up this high, my sedimentation rate was also high, but ironically it came back normal. So much so that in the chart it is the lowest it's ever been in years, even before I started dealing with what I got going on. So excuse my husband, he's just passing through. So I did a little bit more research, and I'm sorry, I did a little bit more research, and I found that this amino acid, there's an amino acid that plays a huge part in the production of serotonin, and it's called tryptophan. And what it is an essential amino acid that the body cannot produce on its own. So it has to be obtained through food or different things that we consume. It says that it plays a crucial role in the production of serotonin and hormones that influences mood, sleep, and appetite. So this tryptophan is found in various foods. I actually tried to see if there were any foods that had no tryptophan or low tryptophan in it, and literally I can count on one hand what I came across. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Apples and peaches being the main ones. So, okay, I digress. That's neither here nor there. But it says that it's particularly found in foods that's high in protein, and is sometimes taken as a supplement to improve mood and sleep. It's actually one of the 8 essential amino acids the body needs but cannot synthesize itself. That's my grandbaby, sorry y'all. Pawpaw comes up, he's usually right behind him. So in looking at this, I decided to dig a little deeper to see, you know, hey, is there a way for my tryptophan to be tested, just to see if maybe it's high, and that might be part of the problem of why I'm producing so much serotonin. And so there are 3 ways according to what I found. You have the tryptophan plasma test, which is a blood test that can be done. There's a tryptophan random urine test. That test actually measures the excretion, which can be an indicator of its metabolism. And the first one, the blood test, it just measured the amount of tryptophan in the blood. And then the last one is the tryptophan load test, and that assess how the body metabolizes it. And honestly, I think that may be one of the biggest issues for me, is that I really don't feel like my body is breaking these things down in the proper way that it should, which in return is causing me a lot of the issues that I'm having, especially the biggest one being the serotonin syndrome. So again, I don't want to make this video long. I just wanted to give you some insight on, what serotonin syndrome is, and how I'm kind of battling with it as of right now. I've had an episode, I call them episode or flare-ups of it. I've had it all this week, and lately it's been happening between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. So I'm not getting to bed usually until 5, 6, sometimes 7 o'clock, but then I'm back up at like 9:30 or 11:30 at the latest. So yeah, lack of rest is a huge thing that I'm dealing with. And anybody that knows, when you don't get a lot of sleep, it says the symptom is agitation. Well, that'll agitate you too. So, but I try to keep it at a minimum, or keep it at bay as much as possible. It's not always easy. I'm only human, but I try not to just lash out at folks. So again, I hope this video is helpful and useful to someone who may be looking at it. I thank you all for those who have commented and left encouraging words or suggestions or advice. I welcome it. Again, this is still new to me, but I'm definitely gonna keep searching until I find the answers. But until then, you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.